Hello and welcome. It's the Daily Dollar. Hoopstradamus. That's right, folks. And we got Hami Arain, the prophet, some call him. If you went to DePaul University, if you participated in Rated DePaul Sports, you probably know him as the prophet. You might know him as poor man's Klay Thompson, depending on how much pickup ball you've played with him. Hami, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. I really appreciate the Klay Thompson comparison because, I'm also struggling with an Achilles injury. And it's been a weird week because I have like this injury, and it's usually very achy. It's usually very sore, and a part of me is very concerned that I might have partially torn it. But because apparently if you have a grade 1 or 2 tear, you can still run around and jump around and stuff like that. So I might get an MRI tomorrow. Tomorrow, this Friday.
Serious stuff.
What's that?
Serious stuff.
Yeah. So I'm really nervous because my dad's a doctor, and he saw it. He saw when it was really swollen on a really bad day, and it was. He said it could, that looks ruptured. He's saying that my Achilles looks ruptured because I was limping around and stuff like that. And when you think of a ruptured Achilles, you think of Kobe Bryant, right? Like he could barely walk. And like Kevin Durant, like he kind of also walked on his own foot, but he needed help too. But yeah, I'm nervous, man, because the initial diagnosis is tendonitis, which is just small little tears around the area. I'm doing a lot of stretching, a lot of physical therapy. It's been good, and that you mentioned Klay Thompson. Going back to him, I was thinking about writing him a letter.
You should. Why not? Tell him to what.
I feel like he's the type who would actually read fan mail. And no one sends letters anymore. Like, I want to send a physical, handwritten letter, and I want to say, hey, Klay, I'm dealing with this too. You're one of my favorite players in the league. I watched you guys. I watched you and Steph. I watched your highlights to motivate myself or maybe inspire myself or just to see, how are they, what screens are they using? How did they get open? Because, they get open for a second and, that's it.
Yeah.
Once they're open for a second, that whoever has the ball, they better find them. Because this season has made me really ran because they had such smart players,
Well, let's start for the Daily Dollar. We'll start right with a very interesting game. It'll be on NBA TV tonight. It is the Utah Jazz, and a really good episode on the Utah Jazz coming out today. We just had Andrea Urban on the program to talk about the Jazz, who are 50-18, rounding up their season, the 35-33 Warriors. And what's interesting about this is, no Mike Conley and no Donovan Mitchell. It could be a really interesting game. I still think that the Utah Jazz get it done, though, and they just shoot the three so well. Bogdanovich put up 48 points the other day. And so I'm still leaning towards Utah. I'm going 117 to 111. Jazz take care of business.
Yeah, I can see a score like that too. This is going to be tough. I think Curry's going to get his. I think Curry's going to get around 35, 40 points. The only question is, are they going to win? And we talked about this yesterday. Steph Curry has 10 games with 40-point games.
Wow.
He's 10 40-point games this season.
Insanity.
And he's had 35 30-point games.
And the over-under is 225, so I'm taking the over here. And Utah is just a 2-point favorite, so they think this one's going to be close. And that makes sense when it's probably Joe Ingles starting at your point guard there. But they still have such a deep team. They have such a good identity as a team, and Jordan Clarkson is no slouch. He's going to be able to step up the way he has stepped up all year. And I expect a good game for him because, who's going to guard Steph, but also who's going to guard Clarkson?
Yeah, that was another guy who I was actually watching highlights of recently. Clarkson's had a hell of a year. And people some people kind of downplay it by saying he's he's a chucker or whatever. But some teams need, the Jazz are built so they can have a guy like that. They have a luxury of having a guy like Clarkson who can take really any shot he wants. He pretty much has green light.
Yeah. What's your?
I like the Warriors here. I like the Warriors 118-117.
Wow. Game winner?
It's going to be a missed game-winning attempt. A missed attempt by Bogdanovich.
Wow. I don't know. Bogdanovich usually hits those. We'll see. That'll be a great game. Let's go to a not-so-great game. The Houston Rockets just decimated by injuries, and they should get destroyed by the no-defense Portland Trailblazers. The Trailblazers 14.5-point favorites. The over-under 238. Now, the Blazers this season, kind of a hard team to analyze. They'll get hot, then they'll get super cold. But I think it's crunch time right now for them. They're a team that averages 116 points per game. It seems like Houston can get hot, but as I mentioned, just decimated with injuries right now. Game time decision for Olynyk and Wood, Bradley Beal out, certainly Brown out, Eric Gordon out, David Nwaba out. And so we'll see what happens. Kevin Porter Jr. has obviously been great, but he's out too. So I'm going 122 to 104. Blazers cover and win pretty easily, frankly. Pretty easily.
I didn't know this. The Blazers are apparently number one in turnovers. They have the least turnovers per game.
Wow.
I didn't know that. You learn something new every day, I guess. So that's very interesting. Maybe is it because their offense is so ISO heavy?
Yeah, maybe they actually lead the league in shots attempted too by a lot. So I mean, They're an offensive heavy team, but that's impressive.
And threes made.
Yeah,
threes made. They're second.
Right.
Which is really impressive. I wonder, are the Warriors first? Or maybe the Jazz?
The Jazz are first. The Jazz have 1,149 threes. Portland has 1,086. I just looked this up this morning, so I have that handy.
Oh, nice. Yeah, the Jazz are, that's a hell of a team, man. That team can really shoot the lights out. And that's why everyone is so, I guess people are, it's weird with the Jazz. I know we just got off that topic, but, it's weird with the Jazz because no one's giving them, the respect that they deserve. And it's just I don't know. I mean, it kind of rubs me the wrong way in terms of, NBA fandom because you're basically telling us that you can't be too good in the regular season now.
Yeah, get out of here. Maybe it's because
of the superstar, but,
garbage.
I don't know.
Garbage.
Yeah. Who's to say that they can't be the next Spurs,
Yeah. So
this is a tough one, though. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that because the Rockets they do have some games where they'll just outperform the other team. But Kevin Porter Jr. is not playing. I know the Lillard. He's kind of had a rough April, but he's been turning it around the last 2 weeks. He's been playing pretty well, and I don't know. I think the Blazers, it should be a pretty easy one. I'm going to go 112 to 100.
112 to 100. Wow. Okay. So you're they're not going to cover. Interesting. And I believe that's the under as well.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. There you have it. Now we got the New Orleans Pelicans led by third degree black belt James Johnson, who will be, of course, getting a lot of those minutes for the injured out for the season, unfortunately, Zion Williamson against the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, Grayson Allen is out. Steven Adams is out. Josh Hart is out. Brandon Ingram is out. Of course, Zion is out. And so this is a really interesting game. It's unfortunate for the Pelicans to be so decimated by injuries. I think it seems like, for me, a lock that the Grizzlies win this game.
Yeah, because the Pelicans are coming off that they barely won yesterday, right? You just mentioned that they barely beat the Hornets, and that was a 2-point game, right?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
I think it was 112-110, something like that.
Wow.
I was at a Giordano's, and that game was on just in the background.
Ooh, Giordano's delicious.
Yeah, we went for Mother's Day. Usually during Ramadan, we try to go to Giordano's at least once because, we just like going there, and it's just we just break our fast by eating the appetizers or whatever. And it's just nice. And, we went there for Mother's Day. My mom, suggested we go there. And I was like, this is great. And I had a ball of a time over there. It was great.
Today's show brought to you by Giordano's.
Yeah, great time. Giordano's, I recommend. I know people I think I prefer Lou Malnati's for sure. But,
I do too.
Giordano's is bad,
Today's show brought to you by Lou Malnati's as well. Even better than Giordano's.
Yeah, I got the Grizzlies winning. I'm gonna go 118 to 104.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I like that.
That's under too.
Yeah, I don't think that the Pelicans are going to have too many scorers. 104-88. I think the Pelicans Pelicans are going to have too many scorers. 104-88. I think the Pelicans have a really rough night at the office in Memphis.
Yeah, I mean, coming back to back, they're playing on the road, second straight game. It's a tough one.
Yeah, I'm surprised that I'm taking the under. The over-under is 228.5. I don't see that happening. Now moving to the great state of Ohio. For Generals, Nixon's coming. Should have been, I don't know. I butchered the hell out of those Crosby, Stills, Nash lyrics. My apologies. But it's the Cleveland Cavaliers in game time decision for Darius Garland. So we got Sex, but I don't know about Sex Land. Sexton is playing. Kevin Love is playing. He's been awful on the plus minus lately. And the Pacers have been wildly inconsistent. They're pretty injured right now. Game time decision for Brogdon, Lamb, Jakar Sampson is out. Miles Turner, of course, still out. The Pacers kind of reeling right now. They are the 8.5-point favorites. I don't like that for them. I think that they're a vulnerable team, and the Cavs don't have anything to lose. They're already mathematically eliminated. So I'm actually going with the Cavs here. I think the Cavs win this one, 108-99.
Yeah, I like your pick for Cleveland. I think the Pacers are playing. I mean, they're just very desperate right now. I think they're going to come out with a win, actually, the Pacers.
Okay.
I'm going 98-94.
I think as a Bulls fan, I'm just hoping that the Pacers blow it and the Bulls can somehow climb into the playoffs.
Yeah, the Bulls basically have to win out, and they're playing Brooklyn twice, so it's going to be tough. But they pretty much have to win out.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Now the San Antonio Spurs hosting the Milwaukee Bucks, and that one's it's always interesting. Yeah, it's like the Spurs should lose, right? But they can always win. It's one of those teams that will beat any team in the league. Show up defensively. The over-under is 233.5, and that's appropriate considering I believe the Bucks are still the best scoring team in the NBA, if not really damn close. Yeah, they are first. They average 119.9 points per game, and they allow a lot of points too, 113.7. When we mentioned last time we recorded that the Spurs averaged right around 114 a game. Maybe it was was it 112 exactly last time we checked?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I remember it was the exact number. It was like a rounded number. Okay. I'm going to check right now. The Bucks and Spurs.
Spurs average 110.7 at this point. So I'm going to go 111 to 120.
That's a Bucks win?
Bucks win.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I have a closer game, 116-113.
Okay. And
that's a Bucks win. It's a Bucks win. Yeah.
Yeah, right on. Now I saved this one for last. This is my game of the night for sure. It is the Atlanta Hawks hosting the Washington Lizards. Bradley Beal is out, but nothing but Neto, as I like to call him. Raul Neto is in. I like a monster stat line for Russell Westbrook, he has a lot to play for tonight, because if he is able to get another triple-double, he is the all-time leader in triple-doubles. And I'm on a site that will not be mentioned because I don't think we can legally say the names of these sites. At least I know that you can't on the radio. I found that out recently. But I'm looking right now. So it's over 54.5. That's the kind of respect they're giving Westbrook right now for points, assists, rebounds total. Now, he's going to get at least 20 points. He's going to get probably around 15 assists. So that gets you up to 35. Is he able to get those? Yeah, I don't know if I'd stay away from that. It's such an insanely high number, but who knows? Maybe Westbrook has like a 30-point triple-double. I think he does get a triple-double, and he's going to get a triple-double in with a victory for the Washington. I don't know about that, actually. This one I've been back and forth. I came up with my score for this game last night. I was looking at all the games and kind of like prepping while I was getting ready for bed. And I think it's going to be astoundingly high scoring. I think it's going to be disgusting, actually. The over-under is 237, and I'm going way over there. But I'll let you go first. The Hawks are 8-point favorites. I don't think it's going to be that easy.
I don't agree with that. The Wizards have been too hot. I get it because Bradley Beal's out.
Right.
But, like, you should have one of those games where, like, from the Wizards, like, you really need this.
Yeah.
I could see them doing it. But, at the same time, it's, because either the Wizards play the Pacers or they play the Celtics or Hornets or whatever, right? So, I mean, while they do have, like, they don't really have much to lose other than, like, seeding's sake. So, I mean, like, let's say the Pacers win, Wizards lose, they'll just switch spots. And there's a pretty comfortable lead from the 10th spot to the Bulls, who are 11th. It's about 3 games, 2.5, 3 games. I mean, I don't think the Bulls are going to make the play-in area.
They're not.
Unfortunately. Because they're playing the Nets 2 times, so we're going to lose one of them,
At least.
At least one of them, yeah. So, and then, what's interesting is Boston is 7th, and Miami is only 2 games ahead, and Atlanta's also 2 games ahead of Boston. So Boston could be 5th. And I think Boston, they're also playing the Bulls, too, at some point at the end of the year. Bulls have a tough schedule to end the season.
They do.
But, so this is very interesting because Atlanta has more to lose, is what I'm trying to say. Atlanta has more to lose in this one than Washington. So if Atlanta wins, that'd be great for them because then they're pretty much jockeying with the Knicks and the Heat. Knicks above them, Heat below them. But I do think the Hawks barely win, 134-129.
We are really on the same page here. Now, let me say that originally, before Beal was out, my prediction was 154-151.
Yeah.
Like, I think it had the potential to be that kind of game. But when you take out Bradley Beal, the Wizards aren't going to put up as many points, and it's not going to create the escalation that would lead to a team being or a game being so high scoring where the over-under should be more like 300, not 237. As I said, it's 236.5 right now, according to RotoWire. So I do think the Hawks pull it out. And I think it's going to be the Wizards are, very capable of scoring into the 30s, 130s. I don't think they're going to do that without Beal. So I'm going to give the Wizards 125 points. And I think the Hawks get 132. Yeah, 132, 125. I feel very comfortable with the over because this game is going to be a track meet. Trae Young is going to be taking a lot of threes, and Russell Westbrook is going to be playing 100 miles per hour in a game where no Bradley Beal there. And so look for Westbrook to have a ridiculous stat line. Look for Trae Young to have a pretty good game too. And I'll take a look at the player props on Young for points tonight. And he's at 25.5. So my player prop of the day is going to be take the over on that. I think Trae Young against a pretty bad Washington Wizards defense could go for at least 30.
Yeah, I'm surprised that I guess statistically maybe the Wizards are slightly better than the Blazers, but I was really surprised. Because it seems like the Blazers are like the worst defensive team ever. And I guess that was the Wizards last year, but
the Wizards, the Blazers, and the Nets all bad at defense.
Yeah. I'm looking at the Wizards. I'm trying to pull up their stats here. I can't, for some reason, I'm on the Yahoo app. I can't see points against or whatever. I can see their offensive stats, but not their defensive ones. Except for block shots or whatever. Anyways, their defense is probably in the 20 or whatever. And I like what Westbrook said the other, last week or whatever. He said something like, now that I'm doing all these triple doubles, no one seems to really care. He's been doing it for 5 years now, people. 5 years he's been doing this like nonstop, pretty much. He's averaged a triple double every year since his MVP year. So that's 4 full seasons.
That's insane. Yeah.
It's crazy, man. And I think by the time he's on his last legs, I think people will start to appreciate him. But, it's inevitable. I mean, every time Westbrook comes up, it's Westbrook, people are just just really shitting on him. And I don't want to say, I don't feel bad for him or anything. And I get it. Triple doubles aren't like a be all end all for wins and losses and stuff like that. I mean, but you're not hurting anyone, you're getting triple doubles. You're helping your team.
Yeah. Usually, yeah. He doesn't get enough respect at this point. So anyway, that's a excellent segment. Hopefully, well, let me just remind you folks, we don't know the fucking future. All right. Spoiler alert. We don't know. These are just our educated guesses, and they are educated because we do look at our homework. We watch a lot more basketball than I'd say 99% of the human population, maybe 99.5, but we watch a lot of basketball, but we don't know. No one knows.
What do you say? What would you say is a good number of games to watch in a night?
I think on an average night where I'm watching basketball, sometimes I'll watch 4 games at once, but I'll watch at least 2. If I don't watch at least 2 games, what am I doing? But I think 3 games is a good place to shoot for if you have a NBA podcast and NBA YouTube channel.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we're not going to watch a bunch like every game. And if you're watching 2 games at once, you're going to miss a lot of things.
Yeah, true.
But I'd say 2 is a good number. 2 is a good number to watch because you have some of those double headers, and you have just other stuff that you might want to stream. Or just a game comes out in the last couple of minutes and you just want to watch. So yeah, 2 is a good number. I think if you call yourself an NBA fan or like a diehard NBA fan, you should kind of strive for 1.5.
Absolutely, that's a good over/under. And that's Hami Arain, the prophet they call him. I'm Adam Shalafu. Thank you very much for watching. Have a glorious day and good luck. All right, I just